Okay, here we go. So we're going to factor these polynomials. Some of them we're going to be using greatest common factor, right? We're going to be using AC method, so we're just going to work our way through these problems together. So for this first one, does this polynomial have a greatest common factor? What is it? Yep. So greatest common factor is 5. So then I will ask myself, 5 times what will give me x squared? Or 5x squared, x squared. 5 times what will give me 5x? Or negative 5x, negative x. 5 times what will give me negative 30? Negative 6. So when I look at this, I notice right away I don't have a coefficient here. So all I have to do is say what times what will give me negative 6, what plus what will give me negative 1. Because remember there's that secret 1 there. So I can do this kind of shortcutty method. So what could be my two values that meet that requirement? Caitlin?
2, negative 3.
Yeah. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. So I get x plus 2 times x minus 3, and then I bring this 5 down, and this is my final answer. Sound familiar?
Not really.
Wait, that's the final one.
I remember this.
I thought we had to do like A times
Well, we only have to do that if we have, so I took the greatest common factor out, right?
Yeah.
And then what I was left with, there's no a value. So only if there's a coefficient here greater than 1, that's when I do AC method. Right? So when right before we started reviewing for iLearn, I gave you guys practice A, and you guys were like, oh no, I didn't do, remember the first few, you were like, oh, I totally messed up on those. So this is the exact same type of problems, just different values.
One of the, on the practice page we did, I did it the wrong way. Like I did it the long way. I still got the right answer.
Yeah, that'll happen. It's just you can shortcut it by not, you can do AC method every time if you want to.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can just do this when you don't have a coefficient here. All right, so for problem 2, what's my greatest common factor?
8.
Yep. So I'm going to have 8 times what will give me 8x squared? 8 times what will give me negative 16x? And 8 times what will give me negative 192? 24. Yep, good job. 24. All right, so do you see here, Lily, how I don't have anything in front of this x?
Yeah.
So now I can do what times what gives me negative 24, what plus what gives me negative 2. I can just do that shortcut version. Yep. Negative 6, positive 4, negative 6, positive 4. So I have x minus 6 times x plus 4, and I just remember to bring this 8 down that I had factored out, and there's my final answer.
When do we have a test?
Next week sometime? No, a couple weeks actually, because we have a lot more to cover really. Okay, so what's my greatest common factor for number 3? 6. So I have 6 times what will give me 6x squared? 6 times what will give me 48x? 8x. 6 times what will give me 42? 7, right? So again, I don't have an a value here, it's just 1, so I can do what times what equals 7, what plus what equals 8.
Here come the fractions.
I think you got this one, Parker.
I don't think I had this one.
It's 1 and 7.
Yeah.
Oh.
I literally just said
Weren't you starting out with the number 1 last time?
yeah.
And then we bring the 6 down for part of our final answer.
For some reason I thought last one, they're both -2.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Mrs. Marsh, we need to show you our pictures that we took outside.
Oh, you're right. I do need to see what you guys did. Thank you for reminding me.
Outside on my porch for 2 seconds. And took a picture.
Hey, as long as you went outside your house, that's a win.
Well, actually, I was leaving for dance. So.
Now, I didn't
I
take a
played
photo
basketball
because when I was
every day. I
taking
went outside.
photos while I was doing this activity, I probably would have lost a foot, but I was going.
Okay.
I have some.
All right. Let's look at number 4. Does this have a greatest common factor?
Wait, I can still good at it.
No.
Hey, guys, remember I'm making a video. We don't have a greatest common factor, and we do have a value here in front of x, so we have to use the AC method. Remember, that's where we do 2 times -9, and we get -18. So then we do what times what equals that -18, what plus what equals 17. Yep. So then now we have x minus 1 times x plus 18. Anybody remember the next step?
GCF?
Yeah, I have to find the GCF of the next.
Almost, but I have to do something first before that.
Oh, piggy. You put the A. On the
Yeah.
other side.
So I get 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 18. And then now I look for which quantity has a greatest common factor.
The second one.
The second one. So this turns into 2 times the quantity x plus 9. And then we have 2x minus 1. And we divide that all by our a value, so those disappear. So my final answer is 2x minus 1 times x plus 9.
I like the first ones better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
How can we check our work?
Boy,
I could FOIL this, right? I'm going to get 2x squared, -1 plus 18 is going to give me that 17x, -1 times 9 is going to give me that -9. Okay. All right, let's do the next one. Number 5, does this have a greatest common factor? Nope. But I'm going to do 12 times -10 and get -120. So I have what times what equals -120, what plus what equals -7.
Basically.
10 and 12 somehow. No.
No, that's
Nope.
not how that works.
You know,
That's good.
if you really think hard enough.
Okay, so it's going to be It's gonna be -15. Here.
Ooh, wait.
It's going to be 8 and -15. Right? I just divided 120 by 8 to see if it worked, and that's what I got. So now I have x plus 8 times x minus 15, 12x plus 8 times 12x minus 15. And this is one of those, you remember when we were going over the practice 20 years ago, and both of these can be factored? Both of these have a greatest common factor, right? So what's the greatest common factor of the first one? 4. So I have 4 times the quantity x plus 2. And what's the greatest common factor of the second one? 3. Times the quantity x minus 5, right? So this is where we combine the 4 and the 3 and we get 12.
Wait, how would it be 3 to like 3?
Oh, this should be 4x minus 5. Sorry.
And shouldn't it be 6x for?
Yeah, for the
Or not 6.
3x,
Three.
3x plus 2, yes.
Okay, I was wrong.
And this is going to be 4x minus 5. So when we combine this 4 and this 3, we get 12 times the quantity 3x plus 2 times the quantity 4x minus 5. We divide by that 12, and so our final answers are 3x plus 2 times 4x minus 5. Does everybody understand what I did here with the 3 and the 4, and I got this 12? And then I
Yeah.
divided it by A? Right.
Can't you just skip that step down? Yes, you can skip it. It's just a show.
But you still have this 3, you would have this 3 and this 4 hanging out there, so you have to show like how you got rid of it. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like in your mind, skip it, but not mathematically skip it. Yeah. Okay, how about this one? Do we have a greatest common factor for number 6? What is it, Anthony? 2. 2 times 5w squared plus 12w plus 4. Sadly, I can't just jump to what times what and what plus what. I have to use the AC method here. So I have 5 times 4 gives me 20. So what times what equals 20? What plus what equals 12?
Ten and
10 and 2.
I think that takes
X plus 10 times x plus 2. I sneak the 5 in there. This is not my final answer though. What do I have to bring down here for my final answer?
2.
2. The very first 2 that I took out. Do you guys feel like we need 3 more examples? Or can we move on? We can move on? Sure. Okay, we're gonna, I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna stop this video and then I'll make another one. File.